Yo, it's your boy Matt Doe, and I am back in the Bay Area. So at a time where a lot of people seem to be moving out of California just because it's so expensive to live here, high cost of living, high taxes, including myself. I was one of those people who moved out, but I moved back to California. So why did I move back? Well, I've gotten this question a lot, so I'm just gonna break it down here. All right, so to summarize my previous relocation video, I bought a house out in Oregon as an investment property, and then I also got a new job that paid pretty well for Oregon, but not so much in California. But granted, I was kind of looking at both Portland and Bay Area, and this was kind of listed in the Portland job market, so it made sense. And that, along with wanting to try living somewhere different and new, prompted me to move out to Oregon and basically live in my investment property, live in my house for a little bit. So this was all in February 2020. So I had grand plans of exploring, adventure, so on and so forth, but we all know what happened, right? Quarantine, COVID, literally canceled everyone's plans for travel. So everything was good. I was chilling, just kind of working on YouTube, working on myself. There wasn't much else to do. Everything was fine and dandy until, things were finally opening up again. And right when things were finally opening up again, this is around spring, summer 2021, I got a really good opportunity out in the Bay Area that was just really, really hard for me to turn down. In fact, this was an opportunity that I really only dreamt about before and didn't think I would get until, maybe a few years later down the line. Also at the same time, Paulina got a golden opportunity that was just really too good to pass up for her as well. So both of these opportunities required relocating back to Bay Area because this was when all the companies were like, come back, return to office, September 2021. This was before Delta variant came out, honestly. And sorry, there's, my screensaver is shifting different colors right now, so let me just turn that off. Hence the color of my face, sorry about that. So after a lot of back and forth and long discussions and conversations with, my family, with Paulina, we made the executive decision to move back to Bay Area after just a year and a half of me living out in Portland. Crazy, right? At the end of the day, no one can deny Bay Area and Silicon Valley and all of the opportunities that it provides here. I work in tech, so Silicon Valley is kind of the place to be for that. I've always hated that feeling of what if. What if I decided to pursue that opportunity? What if I went for that just to see what happens? I hate the feeling of what if. I hate that feeling of regret, and I honestly feel like that was one of the main deciding factors for me. That feeling where you could have pursued something or someone but never did because you were just too scared to try. You were scared of failing. That feeling honestly lives with you forever. I know I can think of a few times where I never pursued something that I wanted, and to this day I'm always going to remember it for the rest of my life. In this case, if I failed and things went wrong, I could always move back to Oregon as a safety net. So once we made the decision to move back to the Bay, we spent weeks, if not months, apartment hunting virtually, by the way, since we were based in Oregon. We discussed moving logistics, we discussed a timeline on when to move back and whatnot, and also finding someone to take my place, my room out here in Oregon as well. So juggling all of these things at once, it was a lot. We finally moved back to the Bay Area in September. So I think we got our job offers in May. We onboarded and started with our new jobs virtually in mid-July or so. And then worked out in Oregon for a bit and then moved back in September. But even though we were moving back to California, we wanted to try living somewhere different as well. Paulina and myself were both born and raised in South Bay. So South Bay consists of like Santa Clara, San Jose, that general area if you're familiar. And we wanted to try living somewhere a bit closer to the city of San Francisco, but not necessarily in San Francisco, just for obvious reasons. And also Paulina's new job is based in San Francisco, so being a bit closer to that is one of the main reasons as well. So if you're from the area, if you're a local of the Bay Area, then you know that the little strip of land that's right before San Francisco, past, Santa Clara, Cupertino, all of that, is called the Peninsula, right? So the Peninsula is really cool because going from South Bay to San Francisco, you always kind of pass by the cities in the Peninsula on your way to San Francisco, but you never really stop to kind of explore, right? Or at least I didn't. So we found some cool places in the Peninsula that's somewhat close to the city, about 15 to 20 minutes away. And it's really cool. And living out here has been very, very nice. It's a different experience for sure. The Peninsula consists of Millbrae, Burlingame, Daly City, so on and so forth. And for some reason, the Peninsula always is a bit colder than South Bay. There's always a little bit of fog kind of rolling in. Carl the Fog, this is what the locals call the fog. And I personally don't mind the cold. I actually prefer colder weather, especially living in Portland. It wasn't too much of a change for me, honestly. I like layering up. I like wearing my long sleeves and my jackets and coats. But it is funny because once you drive out of the Peninsula, 10, 15 minutes out, you're literally in sunny, clear, warmer weather, right? It's totally weird. As a creative, someone who does photo and video, I really like the Peninsula because it's a lot closer to the city. It's a lot closer to the coast. So there are a lot more photogenic spots nearby us that we can easily drive, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes out. The fog also helps because it doesn't cause any harsh shadows in the afternoon. It actually eliminates all those shadows and it provides real optimal lighting. Now, granted, it is sunny today, but sometimes there is that fog, and I personally really like it. I like the chill weather, and as a creative, I like that it doesn't cause those harsh shadows. The lighting is... So there it is, everyone. We are back in California mainly to chase this bread and really pursue our careers, advance in our careers, because honestly, at the end of the day, Silicon Valley is the place to do that while we're at this point in our careers. So we're really just trying to level up, honestly. Also, this is the first time that Paulina and I are, truly living together, right? We have our own space, we have our own privacy. So that's something we've been looking forward to for some time now. Now, granted, I want to say moving to Oregon was honestly a blessing in disguise because I feel like I learned so much about myself. And, with quarantine and everyone working remote, we were very lucky that Paulina was also able to work remote. So she was actually able to live with me for weeks and sometimes months at a time in Oregon, at my house. So I think that really just kind of leveled up and cemented our relationship even further. And that was kind of like a little trial period before actually relocating back to the Bay and living together. So it's been great so far, honestly. We live very, harmoniously or in synergy together. We cover each other's strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, it's been awesome. And the privacy is just really, really great because we have lived with family, we have lived with housemates this whole time. So just being able to live amongst ourselves, it's been really, really great. But man, the rent here, oh man, going from Oregon to California, increase in rent, sales tax, and all the other damn taxes. Well, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. All right, well, that is it for today's video and update. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am hoping to put out more YouTube content. Maybe we'll do a little apartment tour just to kind of show you the place that we moved into in Bay Area. And getting back on YouTube, man. Life's been busy for sure. Life is still gonna be busy, but I'm really trying to get back into this because I miss you guys. I miss YouTube. I miss creating content. And let's get this bread. Let's go. Let's go.